the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Bill Callahan Fan Club president, Jake Bakoven.
I love Billy.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
Happy Thursday to everybody out there. This is On the Block, and we are live from Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, just behind Red Fox Steakhouse. We'll be out here until 6 o'clock. Come check out the newest golf simulator bar in Lincoln. 5 different golf simulator bays, the most in Lincoln by far. Today we have a long drive contest on the golf simulators, so come on down here. Full bar with drink specials, awesome prizes for stopping by. Food available from Soulful Cocina, which is a food truck right outside of the building. The actual address, if you need that to type into maps, 150 Southwest 14th Place, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68528. Again, we're having a blast out here until 6. If you're working, if you can't quite make it today, you're going to want to get down here. I'll try to show it if you're viewing on the Sartor Heyman video stream, and so Strick can kind of see the simulator bars we got going on here. Sorensen is getting his swing going. I know Nick's over there at the bar. We've got some other patrons in here going as well. It's very cool, very fun. If you haven't been here, and it's a new bar, so you probably haven't been. Double Eagle Golf. You're going to want to get down here if you're a golf fan. Encouraged to bring your own your putter, your driver, everything. Bring the whole bag. But if you don't have it, one can be made available to you for a small fee as well. But absolute blast out here. They have their bartenders have caddy on their back, so very much sets the mood. Very cool stuff down here at Double Eagle Golf. Strick, is this going to be one of the first stops you make when you get back to Lincoln?
Perfect timing. I've got my golf clubs. They're coming. They're going to be loaded up. Perfect timing for a new bar like that to open up so Streaky can get it in. I've got to get my boys down there with me too. You guys, as well as my boys over at on Wednesday nights, riffing with Raph and AD. Oh, yeah. That crew, I got to get them down there, and we'll get a chance to hit a few. I look forward to getting a chance to get back on the golf course pretty regularly. It's been such a grind since I've been here. A lot of stuff going on. I get out some, but not as much as I'm probably going to get out when I get back since it's summertime. So, and I'm one of those golfers. I need that early tee time. I can't have that 11 o'clock tee time. I need that 6 a.m. I need to be done. I need to be 6 a.m. I want to be the first thing smoking because I don't want to be. That's one thing that messes up my game more than anything is sitting behind a slow group and waiting after every tee shot, after every going on to the green or whatever the case may be, man. Those things really mess up my game. And so I need to be the first one smoking.
And there are plenty of good golfers here at 93.7 The Ticket. I wonder where you'll stack up. Do you think you'll be?
It's going to take some time.
I
got to get back into a rhythm. I mean, normally if I play consistently, I'm a mid 80s and I can dip into the upper 70s if I am playing consistently and I don't have blow up holes. But yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty solid. And I just got to work on it. I got to work on just around the green, chipping, putting, stuff like that. I can normally get there. It's just a matter of the short game that you got to work on.
Yeah, that's why you got to go to more putt golf so you can get any sort of.
That's a different type of putting.
Anything that's going to get in the way. That's right.
That's a different type of putting. Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Fair enough. And we do have Nate Brennan joining us, of course.
Hey, Nate, go!
What's up? What's up?
Our producer, Nate Brennan's on the line. I'm sorry, Bach. I didn't mean to take your thunder, but Nate Doggy jumped on and joined us, huh?
Hey, listen, whenever golf's involved, I usually try and join, but it was kind of messed up, though. I'm here in the studio. I don't even get to golf, and Bach can't even appreciate it. Bach, you going to go swing a couple drives, do some putts?
Yeah, after I'm done here with the radio, I should have made it out here. I was planning for the show a little bit more before I got in. Sorensen just hit a bomb there right over some trees. So it's kind of fun to watch what's going on here. Trying to improve on his score. His first time didn't do so well. Yeah, he's off to a good start on this par 4 here. Saying he's hitting 290. So that's the kind of fun you can have here. I mean, you don't have to walk. You're just brought right to your ball.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for, like you said, wait on the group before you to
deal with the heat. Or deal with the heat.
Or the wind. Yeah.
But you
well,
still
you probably can simulate wind though, right? They probably will simulate. You probably is it work out like that, Bach, to where they
is there wind simulated on here, Sorensen? Yeah, you can. Yeah, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, what you want to do. Yeah, you want to make it tough, or you want to just
Nope.
Can you knock the trees out too? Just say no trees. I just want everything straight direct line. I want straight direct line to the green.
Nick's already taken out one of the tees, so that can still happen, as you would imagine. But it's just a lot of fun. Again, we're out here at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. There's still some golf simulator bays open, so I'm telling you, get down here. If you can't make it today, make a plan for it, because this is very cool and it's a lot of fun. Really good golf environment down here. Like I said, I really like the fact that the bartenders have caddy written on their back. So I mean,
nice.
It really gets your golf the golf energy going. Strick, are you a big fan of like really care for what TV network or what times the games are on? Do you like to pay attention to that, or does it make a big difference? I should even ask for the players. If you're playing a primetime game, you're playing a game that is on ABC or Fox compared to BTN or FS1, does that make a difference to the player moving up, preparing for that week?
I don't think that does. I mean, I think what they're doing is they're just scoping out the yardages. I mean, it's more meticulous and detailed than people think, right? Most people think you just go out and hack and you practice some or whatever the case. They're actually they go play, pre-rounds, maybe a couple of pre-rounds. They may play a 9 or they may play certain holes. But they'll have either their caddy walk it, then they'll do it themselves, and they'll literally mark off distances, the tiltings of the green and so they'll know where to hit, how to back it up, how much to back it up. Do they need to back it up? If they hit past this point, will it roll off? They're very meticulous on details, and that's what you'll see them do at times when they're they're stopping, they're taking a lot of time, they're looking at this book, they're looking at ranges, like from a specific spot on that course to how far it is, so that they can really be effective in choosing clubs, and then they'll monitor the wind based off of that. So yeah, it's not, that's more of what they do than worrying about a specific channels and stuff like that, times.
Yeah, well, I was talking.
Well, I think it does in the morning. Well, I think also, Bach, in the morning, and I'll make that last point. In the mornings, I think some golfers sometimes like to play in the morning because the ball sticks a little bit more. It's a little bit more dewy. It gets harder as it gets later in the day. So you have those types of situations. And so sometimes they'll depend on where they like to play, depending on the time of the day, the tightness of the course. Sometimes the greens are really narrow that you want to be able to stick it. So you would much rather play in the morning time where you have the ability to stick it a little bit more.
Yeah, I was kind of mentioning because the football games were announced today for the scheduled times and the TV networks. I know that you've talked in the past about a game where you kind of look over, you see Dickie V calling the game. I'm just kind of wondering from a player's perspective. Obviously had a lot of this in the NBA. If you have a national TV broadcast or a window that this all the eyes of the nation are on you. Do players press? Does it make a difference what network you're on? Do you feel like, okay, this is kind of a bigger deal? And because we've seen that in the NBA, you've heard guys stepping up for national televised games.
No. If you're on a big Sunday game or an ABC, a certain time slot where you get kind of hyped for that. I think you do. Yeah. I did. I loved it. I think also the team that you're playing, the matchup that you have. I think more so than anything, I got hyped up for that plus which arena you were in. like playing in the Garden or playing at the Forum or and then you had a primetime game. Yes, sir. You got to shine, baby. You got to step up and you got to get buckets that game or make plays. You want ESPN action. I mean, they don't do it as the same as they used to back in our day. I mean, ESPN was a thing. You was hoping you showed up on ESPN. I was fortunate to have a couple of ESPN highlights. It was good. Yeah. Not Duncan, but a couple big plays, a couple of game winners, stuff like that. Yeah.
Strick, were there any guys that you played with that you knew, okay, it's a primetime game, this guy's going to show up and he's going to play some of his best basketball of the season?
I mean, Michael Finley was like that. Dirk was like that. I had early Nash. I think Paul Pierce and Antoine were definitely like that. Jermaine O'Neal was just a killer. He didn't care what time it was. It was like, I'm just trying to work you over. You know what I'm saying? I think Reggie kind of like certain
the spotlight.
Oh yeah.
Reggie liked that. He was very much like that. But my guys in Milwaukee, they were, because it was just a bunch of hodgepodge grinder type of guys. I mean, I think me and Kukoc were the oldest guys on the team. It was a very young team. With Michael Redd was just emerging as a star. He had, I think the second year I was there, he made the All-Star team. Desmond Mason was a dunk champion. And so we were just a bunch of young guys. TJ Ford, it was unfortunate. I happened to be there when he got that injury in his neck and he just wasn't able to play. I hate that his career ended up like that, but we had some time. Mike Bibby was a guy that liked that too. He was one of those type of guys.
Yeah. He's really jacked.
Oh, well, shoot. I forgot about Spreewell. Spreewell was,
Spreewell,
yeah. Spree. Allen Houston didn't care, but Spree was definitely, he loved it.
Yeah. When you played for the Knicks, who was your kind of teammates then? Because I think of those late 90s Knicks and, like you said, Houston, Spreewell, maybe Childs, they had some big personalities on there.
I played with the team that went to the finals the year before. I was on that team. The team that lost to San Antonio.
So 2000.
I was on that. I was on. Everybody was pretty much back. It was me. It was Spree, Houston, Childs, Charlie Ward, Larry Johnson, Marcus Camby, and me, Marcus, and Spree. We hung out quite a bit. And at that time, we had the Nintendo, right? So somebody would always bring the Nintendo, and we would just play the Nintendo football, and everybody would be trying to be Bo Jackson because they knew he would just run through and by everybody, right? So so we would just be playing games and doing a lot of that, man, just to the dang near late nights. We would get in town late, get in each other's room and start going at it till we fell asleep.
Yeah. Was Patrick Ewing traded to the Magic before you got there?
Yeah.
That was the end of his career, right? That was like so that's a little unfortunate you didn't get to play with him, but that's the rest of the team. It sounds like was there with you. So that's kind of cool. Back to the TV times. We better get into those if you haven't heard them announced here. The most important things, Strick, you'll like this. Nebraska Northwestern at 11:30 on Fox from Ireland with the 6-hour time difference. If they would have played a morning game, like if they would have played at noon local, we would have been getting up at 6 a.m. to watch that game. So luckily, they're working with us a little bit there. So I think they're starting around 5:30 local time in Ireland. Plenty of time for the pubs to get busy before they get that game going. And so 11:30 kickoff time on Fox National TV broadcast. I'm very excited for that. I'll run through these quick, Strick. You just respond with what you think about it here at the end. Nebraska North Dakota. The next week is a 2:30 BTN game. The Nebraska Georgia Southern game the following week is at 6:30 on FS1. Another big one here, Nebraska Oklahoma announced for a big noon kickoff, kind of the primary game on Fox that weekend, which is 11 a.m. kickoff in Memorial Stadium. We'll be jacked for that. Nebraska, Indiana, the homecoming week of October 1st will be a 6 or 6:30 game. They haven't quite narrowed that down, but it's going to be a night game. Nebraska, Rutgers, that following Friday actually will be 6 p.m. on FS1. And then there's a lot of games in between there they haven't figured out yet, but Nebraska, Iowa is penciled in, or I should say markered in, I guess at this point, on BTN at 3 p.m. Any of those things kind of jump out to you? You get excited for?
I'm going to be honest. That's the one I like most, that 3 p.m. So I wish that Oklahoma game was at 3 p.m. Because it just allows you just to be able to take your time. If you have a good night the night before, get down, have a good tailgate, and then, kind of make your way into the stadium. You're finished probably about 6, 7, and then, you're right there at dinner time, and then boom, the night's popping off. That just kind of wears on me, that earlier start for me. I mean, trying to get down to tailgate at some 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Shoot. That's
for those games in college, we used to start drinking at 6 a.m. We would all get together and watch the sunrise and just crack a beer when the sun started to rise. So it can be definitely a long day. That's for sure.
For sure.
That early.
Yeah. And then, you talk about the heat too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you're starting that early and then you're going to be in the heat, I mean, I've heard people start waning. I start wondering if that's why the crowd sometimes just starts waning a little bit, and it tailgated their tail off so early, and now all of a sudden they're just in the heat. So
I think it's just funny depending on what you do, kind of what you kind of feel about the timing of it, because you just mentioned earlier you'll wake up at 6 a.m. for golf, but you don't want to wake up at 9 a.m. for tailgating.
Nah, man.
No, that's a different conversation altogether. Again, we are speaking of golf, we are live at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. It's just behind Red Fox Steakhouse. We'll be out here until 6 o'clock. Come check out the newest golf simulator bar in Lincoln. 5 different golf simulator bays. Today we have a long drive contest on the golf simulators, full bar with drink specials as well. Awesome prices for stopping by, and food is available from Solpo Cocina right outside the food truck. So come on down. Double Eagle Golf is going to be awesome. It is, though, Thursday, and we have a tradition here on the block. We have Thirsty Thursday, so Kevin Meyer has come and joined us at Double Eagle Golf. I'm sure he might get in as well.
Come on, what is this? What are we doing?
Nate, we're freezing you out. We'll bring you back here in a little bit, but we're going to have to freeze you out here.
Hey, Bach, I'm used to being froze out, so, hey, get some of that, Nate. Get some. Take some of that freeze out.
I'm just trying to drink the wine. This is ridiculous.
Hey, there's nothing like being froze out in a basketball game, though, Nate. So at least you're just only being froze out on the drink. But when you've got a point guard, see, that's why I was always glad I got to handle the ball a little bit. But when you get froze out in a basketball game, there's nothing worse to know that the guy he looks at you, you're wide open, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, we're going to.
That's not the best shot.
I had that happen in high school. School. It was the worst. I mean, my team was, I think it was just probably a little bit of jealousy, because at that time I chose and I was going to Nebraska. The hype was all around, and we had just went to the state finals the year before, and then everybody started smelling themselves. And it was funny, man. Lanny Richards, my coach, we were playing at the holiday tournament. And Lanny Richards, at that point, he addressed the team and he said, since you guys are going to all just play like this, and because I wasn't a selfish player, I would find you, you know what I mean? But he was like, we're just going 1-4 flat the whole game. Now, you know what that means, right? Give the ball to Strick at the top, 1-4 flat. Everybody just get below, and he's going to do what he do. And if he finds you, he finds you.
Nice.
He literally did that, and it was because they was freezing.
How'd the game go?
I think we won. We didn't win the tournament, but I mean, we won that game. But yeah, we didn't win. Yeah. It didn't last long. But whenever that was kind of the way he was going to do them if they kept acting like that.
I say I've been looked off on the basketball court too. That's not quite the same as looking off Eric Strickland, an open Eric Strickland. I
always get looked off at the YMCA. I don't know why. Everyone's always just waving me off. I'm open. Come on, guys. That's the thing at the YMCA. You miss a couple shots, those guys will never throw it to you again. They do you dirty at the Y.
Nobody's playing at the Y to pass. They're there to shoot.
They're there to get their buckets. And Craig also, guys, Craig says beer on cereal. I'm not sure if he means like if you're pre-gaming, you put beer in your cereal.
What kind of cereal? Like that's the question I would ask. Like,
you're putting beer in your Honey Smacks, right? I mean, hey, why not?
It might work with the Honey Smacks. It might work, but I couldn't see it with Pops or something like that. I couldn't see it with Pops.
If he's suggesting it, I might have to try it for one of these early tailgates. Yeah. Maybe we should all try it for a tailgate.
Oh man, we're all starting to try new things here at the Ticket. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Beer and cereal. I just gotta say, I'm not looking forward to that one, but maybe we'll get it to go.
Well, the stuff that Kevin Meyer brings down to the to the studio, some of them, them citrusy and all those types of brews. That might be one to pop in there. Get a little citrus with your, fruity pebbles.
Or like a milk beer. I don't know if they've got that thing going on. We'll have to ask Kevin. And it's a perfect time to do that as we transition to Thirsty Thursdays. We'll be live from Double Eagle Golf here on our Thirsty Thursday. Very much looking forward to that. That's coming up next here on The Block.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
Stop in. Caterpillar Vapes, 2601 North 11th Street. Follow on Facebook or online at caterpillarvapes.com.
Hey dude, can I have the aux cord?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want to play some games?
What? No, stop. I'm trying to drive.
Dude, Aaron wants to know what you're doing on Friday.
Okay, I'll talk to him later. I'm driving right now.
Did you see this thing on Facebook?
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta put you on Do Not Disturb.
Wait.
It's hard to drive with a bad passenger, so don't let your phone be one. Visit drivesmartany.org for more information. Brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Trying to kick me out of the stream here, Buck. How about now?
Oh, okay.
You're kicking me out of the stream. It is ridiculous. Here,
I'm trying to get.
Here, let me change this up a little bit here.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go.
That's better. Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah,
kick me out. Don't worry about that.
All right. Yeah, we figured it out. We are live from Double Eagle Golf here on West O Street. Very fun. It's inside the Kinetic Sports Complex. Nick and Sorensen are taking turns taking hacks out here. Man, Nick's not doing too well. He's in like a field over here. They've got 5 different golf simulator bays. I think Sorensen, can we double check, make sure we can hear Kevin over here?
Check
go ahead.
1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear him. You guys are
All right,
good.
yeah, just making sure we got Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. We made you move a little bit from the usual spot, the meeting spot, I should say.
That's all right. I love this place. This is sweet. You know, it's harder and harder to get a tee time in Lincoln all the time now that Wilderness Ridge is completely private. Yankee Hill is gone. You know, and so, you know, good luck in trying to get a tee time on a Saturday at a municipal course. And so this is a great alternative to come down, be able to get some good swings, some, you know, accurate representation of a live round of golf. And, you know, you can do it if the weather's bad. You can do it if the weather's good. You can do it if the tee times are all booked up. It's a sweet place.
Yeah, I think especially in the winters, it's going to fill up pretty quick.
Heck yeah.
But speaking of sweet, we're actually asking somebody for some reason on the text line had thought that maybe we could drink. I don't know even how to phrase this, to have cereal with beer. Have you ever heard of a milk type of beer that you could throw on some cereal?
There's milk stouts. I don't know if you would want to do a burial. You know, I think that would probably not go off so well. That sounds like one of those things that you would try in college and you would act like it was good, but it really wasn't good.
Yeah,
so.
you'd never go back to it. So I was just wondering, maybe there is some hope out there. Strick, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I think Nate was just trying not to be the lonely one. It was either you or Nate. It's always somebody, Kevin, that's trying to kick Stricky off Thirsty Thursday.
They were trying to kick me out, though, which ultimately kicked Strick out. I just turned my my camera completely off if Bach's going to treat me like that. How about that,
Yeah.
Bach? How do you feel about that, huh?
Well, I'm glad. I don't want to see you. We got Kevin on here.
Well,
he's putting Bach in, Kevin. He's putting Bach in timeout. He's in golf timeout.
Well, personally, I have a face for radio, so what we ought to do is shut off Bach's camera so that.
Hey, they put me on TV. Maybe we should put the camera on me a little bit.
That's because you're pretty, man. You're a beautiful man.
Good looking guy.
That's
all right,
right.
let's. Are we gonna start out with the wine this time?
No, let's start with the beer.
Let's start with the beer.
And so, sticking with the golf theme, I brought a beer called Divots Brewing out of Norfolk, Nebraska, and this is their raspberry pilsner called Donna's Raspberry Pilsner. And so pilsners and lagers are basically the same thing. They're cold fermented, which also means that they take a lot longer to produce. So generally speaking, a pilsner will ferment at about 45 degrees and take up to 6 weeks to fully complete fermentation. whereas ales are fermented warmer and can usually ferment out in about a week to 10 days. And so they actually take longer to do. And then it's also a more difficult beer to do well because if there's any impurities at all, there's nothing to cover it up. And so this one is actually sort of taken that fruited component that a lot of times would be paired with a wheat beer, but put it with a Pilsner. And sticking with the golf theme, it's Divots Brewing out of Norfolk, Nebraska. And pretty nice stuff. Great summer beer, great golfing beer.
Yeah, it is. I like the whole idea behind it. Divots Brewing. That's pretty cool. So the Pilsner, why is it? What's the benefit, I suppose, of it if it's such a danger to kind of go down that road?
Because I think it all starts back in, a true Pilsner comes from Pilsen, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic. And it all dates back to the German purity law, where the Germans actually made a law that said the only things you could make beer from were water, hops, grain, and yeast. And so you couldn't add anything else if you wanted to brew within the German purity law. And so it was basically it was an indicator of quality. And the original Pilsner is from Pilsen, Czechoslovakia, and they essentially follow that same rule. And so they wanted to make the purest beer possible, and that's what they came up with.
Oh, that's fascinating. I always love the history lessons that you get along with this segment. And this is very smooth, goes down, makes sense for golf.
Makes sense for golf. Pretty low ABV at 4.3. Fruity, so it's refreshing. Also, it's made from a brewery called Divots. So, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? And, we finally got rid of the rain. Here comes spring and here comes summer. And so we're willing it into existence once again. And we're willing Double Eagle Golf into existence as well. This place is awesome. If you're a golf fan like me, I'm definitely going to be a customer here for sure.
Yeah, are we going to get you? Or maybe we can get you on the greens here. You don't have to take too far of a step.
I plan on taking a few strokes before I bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be pretty fun. How does your golf? Have you ever golfed with Sorensen? I think he's one of the better 93.7 the ticket golfers. I
am too. I'm playing in the league this year. I'm about a 9 handicap, and that will fluctuate anywhere. Sometimes I'll dip down into the upper 7s, lower 8s, and then sometimes I'll chunk up to the 12s, and that's just the ebb and flow of the game. But right now I'm playing at about a 9.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid
for being an old fat guy. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. And what are we looking at? Is this a 4-pack, a 6-packs for this?
6-packs. Again, Divots Brewing. This is what's called Donna's Raspberry. It's a raspberry Pilsner. Super refreshing. You can taste the raspberry, and it's a natural raspberry flavor. It's not like a you're eating a piece of raspberry candy.
It's not too fruity.
Not too fruity, just more of nuanced and, like I say, refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. So I would encourage you to try that out. Let's move on to the wine here.
So this is a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc called Glazebrook. And basically New Zealand is divided into 2 islands. This one comes from the Marlborough region in New Zealand, which is the north tip of the South Island. And again, sticking with the theme of willing spring into existence, getting rid of the rain and the cold temps, this is a perfect summer patio wine. The New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs have a chemical compound called pyrazine, and pyrazine is the same compound found in grapefruits. And so they take on this very citrusy, grapefruity, refreshing style of flavor, and it's unique to the ones from New Zealand. The Sauvignon Blancs from any other part of the world do not taste like this. And it's one of those grapes that they grow all over. So there's Sauvignon Blanc in Italy, there's Sauvignon Blanc in Spain, France, United States, Chile, Argentina, you name it. But the New Zealand ones have a very specific type of flavor, and it's because of that compound called pyrazine. And so if you're looking for a refreshing glass of wine just to have on the patio, maybe sitting around the fire pit, maybe grilling up some kebabs or something along those lines, a nice New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is the way to go on a hot day.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Sorensen and Nick have already came over and tried it. They weren't waiting for you to explain what they were tasting. I think they gulped them down. One of them did. Somebody's got some.
I think we might put a little swing lube into Nick's swing here. So
he needed some confidence. He just downed this pretty quickly, and I think he might have
shake it.
Not too bit of
That's a shank. That's either a shank or a major slice right there. I heard that.
That was an interesting. I feel like I'm at the craft axe throwing place right now. Let's just say he got under that one a little bit, popped straight up in the air.
Yeah, he popped that one up to center field. Is what he said.
Yeah, he's a hacker. He's a hacker.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about computers.
He's a baseball player trying to implement a baseball swing into a golf swing. And that's, a lot of the challenge for all of us who grew up playing baseball. So we had a lot of bad habits that we didn't know we had because we understood a baseball swing and not a golf swing. And, now that I'm 50, I don't play baseball anymore. So I've had to kind of modify my baseball swing to implement more features of a golf swing. And that's all part of the fun. The great thing about golf, though, it's a sport you can play for life. There are people that play it into their 80s. There are, guys that get old and they make it their goal to shoot their age. There's no way I'll probably ever shoot my age, but
they age quite a bit.
I still love the game, and it's just great to be outside. Great to have a few daddy pops with the boys and chase a little white ball around.
Yeah, and we've got the drinks to do it with today. Have you been out to the batting cages recently? How long has it been since you gave up baseball?
Oh boy, when my son was going through, select ball, we did 9 years of select ball, and so mostly I just threw a boatload of BP.
Yeah.
But occasionally I would take a few cuts, especially if we were at a cage, and I would say. Let's see, he's 21 now, was 14, so 7 years probably since I last took a cut with a bat.
Well, at least it won't throw off your golf game then.
Well, that's the beauty about me, Kevin, is that I was a stronger, I switch hit, but I was a stronger left-handed hitter than right, and I play golf right. So it didn't affect me as much as what you just said. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Well, because you learned a golf swing the right way, or at least the opposite way from your baseball swing, and so it's not the same swing.
Yep.
I was giving Nick a few pointers. He tends to what happens when you come through with your baseball swing, if you're a right-handed hitter, you want that right palm to face the sky. And what happens if you do that when you're playing golf, you end up with a slice. And so and where the slingshot comes through would be from about 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock if you're working your way on a regular handed clock, and that's where the club head actually accelerates through the contact of the ball. And in baseball, you don't want to turn your hands over. That's how you get that 99 hopper back to the pitcher. In golf, you do want to turn your hands over. That's how you create that slingshot through the the power band, and so. We've been kind of working on that with him a little bit.
A very informative day. We're learning a lot here on Thirsty Thursday.
Hey, your old Uncle Kev's full of all kinds of stuff.
Remind us one more time what this is and what we can get.
This is called wine. Glazebrook Sauvignon Blanc. It's from New Zealand, and like I said, it has a very grapefruity type of a taste to it. Super crisp, super clean, great for the patio. And Divots out of Norfolk, Nebraska. Donna's Raspberry Pilsner are what we shared today.
Easy drinking today. Always fun to do with you. Thanks again for stopping by for Thirsty Thursday. Let's take a few hacks out here.
Absolutely.
At Legal Golf. Once again, that's Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle. He's getting ready. He's going to see what he can do on these simulated golf. Golf simulators. So it'll be very, very cool to see if he can do a little bit better than Nick, who's trying to teach up. Nick actually got a good one now.
Baby.
Not too bad. That'll wrap it up again for Thirsty Thursdays. Coming up next, it's time for Shootout
Golf
with
clap.
Strick. Because we are out and about, we're just going to do the third caller. So third caller right now, 402-464-5685 will win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We'll be back coming up next year from Double Eagle Golf on 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Showers will continue to be a possibility through much of the morning before maybe sneaking in a little afternoon sunshine, only topping out at around 66, a north wind at around 15 to 20. Partly cloudy tonight with a low 47. Sunshine and warmer temps return for your Friday with a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gums. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Hey dude, can I have the aux cord?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want to play some games?
What? No, stop. I'm trying to drive.
Dude, Aaron wants to know what you're doing on Friday.
Okay, I'll talk to him later. I'm driving right now.
Did you see this thing on Facebook?
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta put you on Do Not Disturb.
Wait.
It's hard to drive with a bad passenger, so don't let your phone be one. Visit drivesmartany.org for more information. Brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now. 464-5685 to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It would normally be time to play Shootout with Strick here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket, but since we're out live from Double Eagle Golf, that might make it a little bit difficult. So we went ahead and gave it to caller number 3. Nate, did we have a winner already? And
we did, Buck. That we did.
Oh, very cool. $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Just like
Give it
that.
out,
Strick is for the people.
nonetheless.
For the people, baby. I play for the people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Strick, we don't give you a win for this one, but you could go for
No, I need that. You know what I need. The champ is here.
We'll count it.
I'm the
champ is
champion
here.
of the
It's going to
people.
come up. You're going to have to win tomorrow. Well, there you go. A little bit of a shout out there. Just a few headlines to go through before we get to the top of the hour. Of course, like we said, Nate, our producer, is going to stick with us for the show. Maybe we should start having once a week, Nate. You could just stick with us throughout the.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd like that for sure.
going.
Absolutely.
We
I'm
always
willing
love
to
having
step in.
Nate join us on the block.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a block party when Nate shows up.
That's true. Let's get
That's
the block
right.
party. That's what we can call it. The block,
Block
party
party.
Wednesdays or something.
Nice.
Or Thursdays, whatever day it is. I noticed this too, as we've been talking about the scheduled announcements as far as the game times and the and what network it's going to be on. I noticed Fox College Football tweeted it out, so they included Nebraska, Oklahoma among their big announcements, and of course they always throw one of the players from each of the teams on there. Can you guess which player it's going to be? Because for the last 4 years, it's been Adrian Martinez, I think. Maybe 3. It's his freshman season. They didn't go into it. But Adrian was always the guy that they used to promote Nebraska. Who do you think it was this time?
Who, me?
Yeah, either one of you guys.
Nate, I don't know.
It's a tough call.
I'm going to say
returning players here.
it's a returning player.
Yep.
Garrett Nelson.
Yeah, it is. That's not a bad guess. It's actually
Okay.
Ramir Nelson.
Oh.
Yeah. So Ramir Johnson. Yeah,
Ramir Johnson.
I'd say, yeah.
I don't know who Ramir Nelson is.
Garrett Nelson would have been a good one.
Yeah, Garrett Nelson. That's not a bad guess. Either of the linebackers that are well known, I think. With Reimer
It could have been Reimer or any of those.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Maybe Omar.
I sure wish there was a Cam Taylor Britt back. But we're happy for him. Cincinnati Bengals. I think Cincinnati's trying to make a fan out of Stricky, even though I don't like that Cole Briscare that's out there. But I think they're trying to make a fan. I'm still salty about the Joe Burrow thing. I'm still salty about
Oh,
that.
yeah. We'll stay salty about that.
I will forever be salty about you passing up Joe Burrow. Stop it.
Yeah. That's nothing that we want to relive.
Sour taste in everyone's mouth, I would say.
Ooh, let me drink some wine to that.
How about this, guys? I don't know how much you guys are into boxing, or at least just kind of this new form of promotional boxing. It's not necessarily the best boxer. It's just selling fights to sell fights. Basically, it's just kind of fun. But that's what we have with the Paul brothers kind of taking over. Jake Paul's promotion now wants ex-NBA player Glenn Big Baby Davis for his boxing undercard coming up in August. It looks like they're trying to find a
How many rounds? How many rounds?
How many rounds does he make?
One? Big Baby's not making it to 3 to 5. Not
Strick,
at
did
all.
you ever play with him? You probably played with him at one point, didn't you?
No, I think I missed Big Baby. I miss him. He was too
Yeah.
young. He was too young. Boy, he was a big body though.
I don't know how he's going to do in the ring. I don't know if that's a great idea for him. But
Hey,
maybe
but
he'll
listen.
throw his wrong. Maybe he'll throw a nice hook.
Listen, even though Frank Gore took a nosedive in one of his early fights, the one he just put somebody to sleep. I just saw on YouTube. And Frank Gore's trying to come out and do some things. I was like, man, why would you leave the football field to take a continuous pounding on the brain in the boxing ring? That's beyond me. But hey, better him than me. Stricky's not stepping in the ring. Hey, listen, Nate Robinson told me everything I need to know about stepping in the ring.
Oh,
I will never. No, sir. I got too much pride for that.
Talk about someone that got slept. Ooh. He got hit pretty good.
But you know how he listen, the memes, the internet is undefeated because the memes that came out, you know how when they used to the movies, they draw the white tape around the body. They had the white tape drawn around him the way he was laid to sleep. I mean, I was like, that's crazy, bro.
I think it's kind of weird. I know Glenn, with Nate Robinson and Glenn Big Baby Davis, they're both just like bench pieces for like the 2012 Celtics. Why are these guys the guys that are getting the nod? I know they're just not the most, their careers ended like 5 years ago. They're not the most notable players, but apparently that's who the Paul brothers like, at least in this. Somebody says off the text line, one punch and Davis could knock a Paul brother out. What do you guys think?
Negative.
You don't think so? I bet he could pack a punch.
He would have to do it early.
Yes, he's going to be so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Think of him as like a Tyson. You get past the first round, you got him.
Right. The thing is,
remember that used to be the talk about Tyson.
Tall.
Yeah. Listen, people don't understand. Like, if you go and take a boxing course, like one of my friends, I played in high school against. His name is Ryan Elrod. He used to have a company. He does a lot of stuff now, I think, out of Omaha, up at the Lifetime Fitness. They have a Lifetime Fitness up there, don't they? Or something like that. One of them type of Lifetime style fitness places. He used to have a place called TKO Boxing or CKO, one of them, CKO or TKO. And I went in there and did a workout, and I was done. Like, you've got to, that's a different type of cardio that you got to be on when you're talking about boxing. And people think that you can just do it. I don't care how much you spar for the 3 minutes and get in there, and the work and the road work you're doing, that's some different stuff, bro.
When I still lived in Blacksburg, I went to a boxing gym. That's where I worked out, and I got the gloves and the tape and everything. It is a workout. Like, people do not realize, and I thought too, I was like, it'll be a great workout. You get exhausted. When your hands start dropping, that's when you start getting knocked out.
Yeah. Think of an MMA fight. If you're in a championship rounds, 5 minute rounds.
And they're wrestling.
Grappling. Too. Yes. Of grappling, kicks, punches. Listen, I've rolled with people before and got into, and just did some jiu-jitsu rolling, and I was exhausted. I mean, they could have put me to sleep with all types of omoplatas and rear naked chokes and all kinds of stuff. They could have put me to sleep. I was not good. No.
I will say this. I know you're not a big fan of celebrity boxing, but that would be quite a moment if Glenn Big Baby Davis is able to win his celebrity boxing match. I think the crowd will definitely roar for that one.
I'll watch the aftermath. I won't. They're not getting Stricky's money for that one. No, sir.
No.
Watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Aftermath.
All right, let's take a quick break. Again, we are live from Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. We're having a blast out here. There are 5 different golf simulator bays. Kevin Meyer now taking his swings. He's looking pretty good and doing well out here on the golf simulators. Come join us. It's a lot of fun down here. If you can't make it today, just make an appointment to come out here. I don't think you have to make an appointment. Just make sure you get down here. There are drinks. There's some prizes today. You do want to stop by today. There's awesome prizes for stopping by today. We have a long drive contest as well in the golf simulators. So do that. But we'll take a quick break here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back with more sports talk on the block.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. A.J. Tower hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Wildcats defeated Millard South 11-10 in the Class A title game on Thursday at Tal Anderson Field for the school's 2nd state championship in the last 3 seasons. Just their 2nd season as a varsity program, Elkhorn North was able to win the Class B baseball championship. Starting pitcher Colin Noizak struck out 10 batters and allowed just 2 hits as his complete game effort led Elkhorn North to a 2-0 win over Waverly, the team's first state championship. Jalen Lloyd of Omaha Central captured the boys' all-class win in the 100-meter dash and the triple jump. Dejaj DeFrand of Lincoln High won the girls' all-class at the track and field state championships in the 100 and 200-meter dash. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Naloxone is a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose and is now more readily available in Nebraska. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. I encourage you to learn how to respond to an opioid overdose and administer naloxone to potentially save a life by getting the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now. During the Ram Make the Switch event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy Memorial Day weekend. We are thankful for our country, and for those that have served this nation, we salute you. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega, and I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
We got everybody dancing here on a thirsty Thursday. Maybe it's a little bit of the drinks that are kind of setting in to get you going. We are live at Double Eagle Golf here on the block. Double Eagle Golf is inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, just behind Red Fox Steakhouse. We'll be out here until 6, so one more hour to get out here and see us. Come check out the newest golf simulator bar in Lincoln. They have 5 different golf simulator bays. Nick is correcting his stroke. He's doing better here as of late. Sorensen's doing pretty good for himself as well, but they're just on one of the bays. So they're, I think, 3 bays open right now. So if you don't have plans, come on down. This is a lot of fun. We have a long drive contest on the golf simulators today, full bar with drink specials, awesome prizes for stopping by, and food available from Soulful Casino. Might still be out. The food truck, I think, is still out there. So it's an exciting time here at the Kinetic Sports Complex as Double Eagle Golf is opening up. And, man, is it cool. Again, for our new viewers, maybe I'll show you here on the Sutter Heyman video stream kind of what we're working with here. Sorts of taking a swing. And he didn't do too good on that one, but there are several bays open. That's part of the. I mean, it's a realistic. So if you take a bad swing, it's normal golf. You're not going to shoot any better here than you will out on the golf course. But maybe you can get something going. Maybe you can kind of work on your stroke, get your swing corrected or whatever. But it's a lot of fun either way. Of course, we are joined by Eric Strickland as usual, and Nate. We're going to start a new thing. I don't know if it's going to be Thursdays, but I think we're going to have Nate join us on air more often on one of these days rather than just be the producer. So we'll have that as we get through our next topics through the next hour. We'll talk a lot of Nebraska football. Then we'll jump into some of the NBA here on Hitting the Hardwood. The Miami Heat really had a rough go at it last night. The Mavs are still up against elimination, and there's a few things I wanted to run through there as they've been making some headlines in the NBA today. But I wanted to start with this. And not so much just narrowing in on the football player, but kind of the broader idea of it. In any case, Nebraska made another in-state offer today to Cade McIntyre from Archbishop Newman. He's a 6'4" kid, very lengthy, very good at wide receiver in high school, maybe projects to the defensive side at the next level. In any case, Iowa just offered him. I believe Tennessee just offered him. He's got offers from Kansas State, Minnesota, Wyoming. So he's just starting to get things going there in the class of 2023 for him in particular. But it's kind of a bigger topic here is that he's the 8th player in the class of 2023 to receive an in-state offer from Nebraska. You can tell that it's just kind of been more of an idea than it was maybe early on in Scott Frost's tenure to lock down the state and make sure that you get all the Division I players here. This past class, proved pretty well. A couple classes ago, not so well. So they've made that a big emphasis. Do you still see that, Strick, as very important as they try to get it going? Is it, kind of best player available, or does it help, benefit to have kids that maybe bleed Husker red, as they say? Does it help to have a guy in the locker room that is a Nebraska guy and has grown up a Nebraska fan?
I'll be brief because I definitely want to hear Nate's perspective on this as well. But yeah, we talked about this on the block, and I think probably it was either earlier this week or late last week where we talked about the transfer portal and how well they've done and the importance of it. We still don't know how it's going to translate, if it's going to be something to the benefit of the Husker program. We know on paper. I mean, I listen to the Character Chronicles and other people as well, and he feels the same way that I feel about it. I think that on paper they did a tremendous job in the transfer portal and who they was able to secure, the holes that they were able to fill. I also think that it can't be something, and I talked to you about this as well, that it can't be something that it's a rely on. It can't be 12, 15 plus out of the transfer portal either year. You get no continuity that way, right? You get no stability that way. It's still a lot of some inconsistencies because you just don't know what's going to pan out of that. It does look good, but I still think you need those foundational pieces. You use this as a bridge gap to be able to bring those foundations in. And so you take the next year, if you're heavy in the transfer portal 1 year, you want to be heavy on the recruiting side the next 2 years for foundational aspects, right? Because maybe some of those transfer portal guys don't pan out. Maybe some of you're going to lose a couple. Maybe so then you want to start building foundational pieces at your university in order to be able to make sure that there's stability and then there's growth and there's development. And then those are able to see and then project and understand what their roles are and how they're going to be able to fit and where they fit and if they need to shift positions. And then you want to be able to build off of that. I think that's why it's important to be able to do what they're doing now and securing in-state talent.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting because when you look at the transfer portal, it's just so new, and we really don't know how it's going to shape out over the next 5-10 years or so. But I'm with you on that, Strick. I don't think it's really a long-term solution. I think if you're looking for a Band-Aid for a season like this, where Scott Frost and this coaching staff need to have a successful season, I don't think they really have many options. That's just kind of the path that you have to take. But then when you ask about the state of Nebraska, I just look at this from my perspective as a Virginia Tech alumni fan. I know everyone hates when I talk about that, but I think there's a lot of parallels between the two, because when you look at the state of Virginia, there's plenty of talent, and Virginia Tech for years, if you were a top recruit, you went to Virginia Tech. I mean, that's just kind of how it went. And I think Nebraska, especially in the 90s too, I mean, Vershawn's talked about it extensively. Strick, you've talked about it too. If you were from Nebraska, even on the basketball end, you went to Nebraska. That was just kind of how it worked, and I think Nebraska's lost a little bit of that. I think NIL will help, but if you're a top recruit in the state and you're losing out to these schools like in Iowa or Wisconsin, that's where it really hurts, because what type of resources do they have that Nebraska doesn't? And they're out of state. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense that you would be losing a recruit to those type of schools. So I think the focus on Nebraska, when you talk about that long-term, really is going to be effective.
I think this year, Bach, is really important, especially for Nebraska football. Not only for the savings of jobs and all of that stuff, same thing for basketball. I think it's really important. The reason being is we've talked about this as well, and we've had people on like Cluster Johnson who has been on, and we've discussed, you know, his sons, where it started with his son going to to Wyoming, where they really weren't on him, really tough, and then it just kind of was a trickle down effect. That kind of happens in a manner that a lot of those younger kids have not seen the success of a Nebraska program. And so they're looking at the Iowas and they're looking at, you know, them playing in bowl games, and they haven't seen it in Nebraska. So it's tough for this younger generation. Like in my generation, it was very similar to the Michael Jordans in NBA style, where a lot of us, like, you couldn't see Reggie Miller saying, I want to go play in Chicago. You wouldn't see Larry Bird saying, I want to go play with Magic in LA. You're saying, I want to beat Magic. I want to beat Jordan. I'm not Isaiah Thomas saying, I want to go and play. You didn't see that, right? Yeah. And so what's happening now is you're seeing that a lot of kids are witnessing, because you're social media, you're getting the hype, you're getting the program, the team. All of these things they're seeing, they want that. And there's not a lot of people that saying, I want to branch off, I want to break off, and I want to make this place unique. That's what we did. And that's why we did that, is because we wanted to beat Michigan, or we wanted to beat the best of them that's out there. And that's not really what's happening. So it's important for this football program to show winning ways. I think it could have really sent off a landslide had those 3-9 season that they had last year, had they won and beat Michigan and beat Oklahoma, and they, you know, beat Michigan State, and they won those games, Ohio State. If they would have did that, you would have seen a treasure trove of talent that just would have flooded Nebraska, I think. And so I think it's important that they need to see that this year.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see. And let us know what you guys think here on the text line, 402-464-5685. Does it matter how much of a local flair that Nebraska football team has? We've seen in the past letting guys get out of state. There are certainly still, you know, like guys like Zane Flores, the quarterback, who's not going to go to Nebraska, as it seems. You're still going to have some guys get out, so maybe it's positional. But you know, I think for especially the fan base, you know, and this matters less, but for the fan base to connect to your football team, you know, it is important to have some of those Nebraska guys. Now, you'd rather, obviously, I think when we talk about connecting and you worry about the transfer portal and maybe not connecting with these guys for too long, I don't think anybody cares that Samori Toure was here 1 year. He's a Husker. I mean, you kind of connect with him because he plays well in the field. Levante David, the same thing, was here 2 years. might as well be a 4-year, player from Nebraska as far as you're concerned, because, he got it done. But when you look at some of these, you go up and down the roster and, look at some of the guys that were starting and some of the success they've had. Austin Allen, Cam Jurgens, both guys obviously from Nebraska that they got out of Nebraska, out of high school. You look at their linebacker unit, Nick Henrich, Luke Reimer, Garrett Nelson, all Nebraska guys. So there's a lot of talent still in this team. Throwing Ben Stille in there from last year. I mean, and you can keep adding names in there. I mean, there's a lot of talent that they are making sure that they're out in front of. And again, maybe it's not to be too late, because Nebraska offered this kid today. He already had several other Power 5 offers. Sometimes it's whoever's there first you feel a little bit more for. Usually the in-state teams are going to get a little bit of a longer look as well. But do you think there's anything to the fact that they didn't offer him first? Do you think that might hurt a little bit in any case where an in-state kid gets some kind of outsider, somebody came in and scouted before Nebraska did?
I think that it'll change if he's still early enough, right? It's still early enough. I think winning will change the mind. I'm telling you, if they pull off a Bob the Builder, our guy Bob, if they pull off a Bob type of a season, then I think things will start to shift in the mindset of the young man. Go ahead, Nate.
I mean, the thing is, I'm just thinking about this from an 18-year-old's perspective. Is we can talk about it now, but if you're 18 years old and you're one of the best players in the state of Nebraska and you aren't offered somewhat instantly, I'd take that personally. I don't know about you guys, but this is my school. This is where a lot of these kids, especially in these smaller towns in Nebraska, if you're like a Class C, that's your dream school, right? I mean, this is where these kids want to go to school. And if you're the top of your class, if you're a 3-4-star recruit and you're not getting recruited by Nebraska, I'd take that pretty personally. I don't know what situation he's in. I don't know what class he's in. I don't know what area of Nebraska he's in. But I know that, especially when you get out to these rural areas, I would take somewhat offense to that.
Yeah, and
I think I'm going to push back a little bit. I see what you're saying, Nate. I really do. I get it. I'm with you. And I would venture to say I'm with you on that. But then I also want to push back because I still think it's early enough for a young man like himself. Right. Because some of those are like North Dakota State, South Dakota State. They probably got in real early. And then some of them are starting to pop in. And so he's probably a couple weeks after Iowa. So, to be in that same, category with them, that works. And the reason I say that is because you got to think about translation. He is a Class C2 kid. So, like there were kids like Brennan Holbein who had a great success out there. There's other kids, from Holdridge and all the, other rural schools. There used to be a pipeline out there, linemen that used to flood Nebraska.
Yeah.
But I think it's still early enough for a C2 kid. I mean, you still want to understand because of the competition that he's playing against. You would do yourself a disservice as a university, I think. And I could be wrong. Sauter Heyman text line, I could be wrong. I'm not against lower classes or anything of that nature. 402-464-5685. I just think you've got to kind of watch and observe, size, strength, domination, all of these types of things. He had 873 yards, 14. I don't know the style of offense that they run, so I can't say for sure. But I would like to see him at least 1,300 to 1,500 yards if domination. Like if you're a throwing team, I would need to see your numbers up there if you're a Class C kid. And that's only because of the competition level that you're playing at. So that's where I would push back a little bit. I think they're in the right zone as far as the timing as a junior. I think he's a junior going into a senior year. But yeah, I wouldn't have probably offered him as a freshman or a sophomore or anything like that.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit more. And that's the only way I see that.
I think in this situation, it makes a lot of sense. I'm talking about more about the kids that you're late into your senior year and you haven't been offered by Nebraska, but they've been offered by all these schools. I mean, and also I'm thinking about Baylor Shireman. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but he wasn't even offered from Nebraska. So when Nebraska comes in out of the transfer portal, you're one of the most highly touted transfers in the country, and your dream school didn't offer you to begin with. Now, I might take a little bit of offense to that because obviously you were good enough to play at the Division I level, and now you're a hot commodity. We probably didn't know that he was going to be to this extent, but as much struggles as Nebraska has had, why would you not take a shot on a kid like that? And that's the kind of situation I just don't really understand.
I think you have to do it. And that's where I talk about like our situations. I mean, because yes, we got me in Class A and others like that in Class A, and you had your Jason Glocks in Class B, and then you had your Chad Diaz's, and then you had your Markowskis that were in a little different classes, but we still got them. We went after them, and they're foundational pieces to your program. So I'm definitely with you on that. And I venture to say that Baylor Shireman, had Nebraska had a better season, I think he probably would have chosen Nebraska. If I'm Baylor Shireman, I'm choosing Creighton in this situation right now, the way it looks, because you're looking at a potential Final Four or Elite Eight, and you're getting that shine because you just went to the combine and you're coming back. You see what I'm saying? And so you're looking at where you're going to be able to get that shine. I think there's too much uncertainty at Nebraska right now for him to have made that choice. I would have made the same choice. I probably would have went to Creighton too if I was in his shoes.
Going off of that too, Stricken, I want to ask you guys this. If you're a 4 or 5 star recruit in Nebraska, I think not as much as the success, the first thing that comes to my mind is your availability or your opportunity to go to the next level. Because if you're a 4 or 5 star recruit, a lot of these kids nowadays, you're thinking NFL. I mean, it might be right, wrong, or indifferent. That's a lot of what these kids are thinking. And Nebraska has shown recently they don't have much success about sending kids to the NFL. So even further than the struggles on the football field, I think that's something that probably goes into these kids' mind.
And that's why I think this year was huge for them. Getting 2 second rounders to get in there, and then you've also got guys that get on the team, and depending on how they pan out on that, I think Cam Jurgens and Taylor Britt did something for Nebraska that is going to go a long way if they are able to turn it around this season, get into a bowl game, get into that 7-5, 8-4 type of range, and if they blow the doors off, sky's the limit for what they're going to be able to do.
And especially for those 2 kids, I mean, those are guys that came in, I believe, as even Frost recruits. So, guys that have kind of gone over his tenure and been able to be developed, and that's something that's kind of been lacking, at least in what you call the proof in the pudding. The pudding's the NFL draft. There hasn't been a whole lot of high picks that say, hey, this is why you should come here, because we can develop you into the guy that you can become. But, and especially in recruiting, it's just fascinating because you can do that kind of in hindsight, right? If you look at Baylor Shireman, certainly Nebraska should have offered him. You want to say that coming out of high school, but he's stuck through the cracks for everybody. It's not like he goes.
Let's not act like Nebraska was just some crazy program that was just killing it. I mean, if you're struggling this much as a program, why would you not take a shot on these Nebraska kids?
Because you only have so many scholarships. It's easy to say that again in hindsight, but if you only have like 4 scholarships. If 2 of them are on some 2-star hopeful Nebraska kids that are coming up, that's really limiting what you can do. You need, if you can go get a 3-star kid out of Chicago or something, I get it. I just think that's hindsight a little bit more, because there's a lot of teams that will probably be pretty upset at themselves. I suppose even Creighton, that they didn't figure it out early, but guys develop at different rates. Who's to say that Baylor Shireman deserved at that point to be, a D1 prospect at that time? It's just kind of fascinating as we're going through it in the different talks you have with these, the different situations that can play out, as we're talking about Caden McIntyre, who got his offer from Nebraska recently, but was not the first D1 offer. He's got 5 D1 offers for him. We've kind of talked about the misses that Nebraska's had over time, and I especially think of Harrison Phillips, the star defensive tackle at Stanford. I think people underrate how great he was at Stanford and has been playing in the league ever since. He said his thing was that Nebraska was kind of late to him, so that can hurt. I don't think that's the case with McIntyre, but that can hurt in those cases. And then I also think of Noah Fant, and that is what's interesting to me about McIntyre, is that he's kind of super stater type as a wide receiver, but colleges are looking at defense. Could the team that wants him at wide receiver, maybe he has a love for playing that, be selected overall? Be the reason why he selects him, because that's what happened with Noah Fant out of Nebraska, and maybe Nebraska was a little late with him too. But they were trying to get him as a defensive lineman. He's gone on to be a first round tight end. So that could be in play too.
I don't want to lose real quick, Nate. I don't want to lose the fact that Cam Jurgens and Britt, I venture to say that's why they've been so successful in this transfer portal. I don't want to lose. I venture to say that's why there's been tremendous success out of the transfer portal, because guys are looking at this and they're weighing it out and they're saying, okay, I'm sitting here at Alabama, or I'm sitting here at LSU, or I'm sitting here and things are topsy-turvy here, but I can get top-notch quality play here, and I can see some opportunities to jump from there. I just didn't want that to be lost in it. Go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
And Jory, I think, sums it up perfectly. The point that I was trying to make. He says it's easier to take more time in recruiting when the football team is competing for national championships. When you're not, you better be out there in the state seeing these players. And I think there's truth to that. Again, and then that's why basketball, I know Strick talks about it a lot, is kind of the culture. And the team that you're trying to build on the basketball court, it's like you can have these kids from Orlando, Florida, the 3 stars all you want, but sometimes taking a chance on this Nebraska kid for the culture of Nebraska basketball, especially if you're trying to build a program, that might not be the worst thing in the world. And I know, like you said, Bach, it is a little bit hindsight saying like a Baylor Shireman, a 2-star from Nebraska, but if you're building something, or you're at least trying to build something, sometimes taking a flyer or taking a shot on these kids might not be the worst idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think all good points to be made, and it just reminds you how tough recruiting is.
Yeah.
And reminds you that it's basically 50-50, whether you're going to get anything out of these kids to begin with. And, usually a little bit more of a hit rate in basketball because you have to play somebody. But certainly in football, it really is. It's like 50-50. And I think we look at all these transfer portal guys, and I wonder if that's going to move up considerably. You think it would, a lot of these guys, some of them at least, are proven prospects. They've already kind of done it. You don't expect them to drop off out of nowhere. But is it going to be more than a 50-50 hit rate? Because I know a lot of the excitement, like it would die down quite considerably if I told you that Nebraska, through their makeover this year, I could see into the future and tell you, about 50% of these guys are going to help out. That's not enough. Nebraska needs a lot of help out of the transfer portal. Why they hit it so hard in a lot of these positions.
Absolutely. So, I really feel bad. That's why I feel bad for Xavier Betts, because he was a great in-state land, and he had tremendous upside, and you were looking for big things out of him. And for him to pass on, I'm wishing him well, because he's a Bellevue West kid, not just because he's a Bellevue West kid, but more so I had the chance to talk to him. I had the chance to speak with him. I had the chance to pour into him and to see whatever is going on with him. I'm hoping that he's well, because I thought it would have been a tremendous opportunity for him to shine, especially this year.
Yeah, especially this year, because I think they're going to fling it all over the field. And if you're talking about a guy with upside, I mean, you're still kind of in that spot. I know people really love Trey Palmer. He used to be a 5-star athlete and all that. But you don't really have too many proven guys necessarily. I mean, Omar, you've got basically a bunch of guys that have, had 500-yard or less receiving yards. A bunch of guys, if you kind of correlated to the NBA or something like that, guys that weren't number 1 receivers. And now somebody's got to take over that responsibility. Somebody's got to be the number 1. Somebody's got to be the number 2 at this level. And that'll be new for these guys. I suppose Omar was kind of in that position last year. But if you're looking for, Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda, it's quite a jump up to play in the Big Ten. If you're looking at Trey Palmer or Washington, those were like the 5th leading receivers on their team. So there's going to be more expected out of one of them to take a huge jump this year. And I can't wait to see who that is and how it plays out. Nebraska football can't get here soon enough. We'll take a quick break here. We are live from Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. We'll be out here until 6. Come check out the newest golf simulator bar in Lincoln. There's 5 different golf simulator bays, most in Lincoln by far. And it is just awesome. We're having a lot of fun out here. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for Hitting the Hardwood. Let's get into what was going on with the Miami Heat's offense last night. Are they that bad? Is Boston's defense that good? Is the parity good for the NBA in general? The fact that all these teams look like they could get blown out on any given night, is that better or worse than having Cleveland and Golden State go at it every year? We'll talk about that. Also, I want to catch up with Strick on his Eastern Conference Finals run with Boston. Since Boston is wrapping that up, I feel like we should probably do that. So we'll take a quick break here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back live on the block from Double Eagle Golf. We'll be back here in a minute.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. A.J. Tower hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Wildcats defeated Millard South 11-10 in the Class A title game on Thursday at Tal Anderson Field for the school's second state championship in the last 3 seasons. Just their second season as a varsity program, Elkhorn North was able to win the Class B baseball championship. Starting pitcher Colin Noizak struck out 10 batters and allowed just 2 hits as his complete game effort led Elkhorn North to a 2-0 win over Waverly for the team's first state championship. Jalen Lloyd of Omaha Central captured the boys' all-class win in the 100-meter dash and the triple jump. Dejaj DeFrand of Lincoln High won the girls' all-class at the track and field state championships in the 100 and 200-meter dash. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Joined by Sam Cook, 39 years old from Seward, Jake. Played 16 seasons with Baltimore. Why do you think it worked so well for you in Baltimore?
With the success of our special teams over the 16-year career, never left the field without feeling like I got something out of it each day. And always try to find a way to make sure I got each day got better.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gums. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so badly, he ended up in the emergency room and spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy about telling people not to smoke around your kids.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy Memorial Day weekend. We are thankful for our country, and for those that have served this nation, we salute you. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during the Ram Make the Switch event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is a block party here on the block, and our block party is at Double Eagle Golf. That's where we're at today, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Again, would like to encourage you to come out to Lincoln's, one of Lincoln's newest bars, and it's not just a bar. I'll turn this around again for the Starter Heyman video stream. There are 5 different golf simulators out here, so it is very cool to see Sorensen taking a swing. He just took a mulligan, by the way. So you could do that as well every once in a while. He says it's his first one on his 18 holes, but he made up for it, though. He did pretty well with his mulligan swing. There are 5 different golf simulator bays out here, most by far in Lincoln. It's the newest golf simulator bar in Lincoln, Double Eagle Golf. Inside the Kinetic Sports Complex. Do yourself a favor and come out here. It is just an awesome bar. Let's take a look into the NBA. It's time for Hitting the Hardwood as the conference finals are starting to take shape, and maybe we can see who is going to win these things. Before we get too much into what was going on last night, I want to throw this out there. Do you think that the Mavs have what it takes to extend this series once again tonight? They're going to have another chance at it. Of course, the next game the Warriors wins, they punch their ticket to the finals. Do you think we know who the Western Conference champs are tonight?
I mean, the same thing happened with Golden State. They ran out on, Denver, and everybody that they've played, they run out on them, and then they'll have a lackadaisical game, and they either get blown out, or Memphis, the same thing happened. They either get blown out or they lose the game, and they normally will come back. I expect them to play tremendously better, even though they were down as big as they were in this last game. The fact that their backups and their secondary players were able to get them in range, and they only lose by 10, that's a scary thing. Even as well as Dallas had played, Luka is, we talked about some of those numbers when Luka, doesn't score up to 40 points, what their record is. It's like, I think they're, I don't want to be specific. I don't have the note in front of me, but they win games when Jalen Brunson scores 15 points or more, or Dorian Finney, hits a certain amount of shots, they win. So they need to be focused on that. Dorian Finney doing well. They got Bullock to finally come out of his shell. He was like a turtle, just crawled up in his little shell. He does that. And that's the problem with these series on both sides, between the Miami-Boston series as well as the Golden State Mavs series, is the inconsistency of not knowing where you're going to get your numbers from. Outside of Luka, outside of the traditionals of, Steph and maybe Clay, they kind of know where they're getting it from. Even if they have a pool that goes out, they have a Kevon Looney that'll show up, or, they'll have somebody else that they kind of know. The crazy thing about Miami is they have no clue. They don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to show up, Kyle Lowry, and so we're not talking about them yet. We're going to get into them. I'll get off of them right now. But at the end of the day, this Mavs series, there's certain things that they need to do. Luka has to basically not. If Luka scores 40, they lose. That's just basically their record is like 6 losses in the negative when Luka scores 40 points in the playoffs. They lose. So Luka needs to be in that triple-double range, that 25 to 35 range with 10 rebounds and maybe 8-9 assists. That's when they're successful. And if those other guys aren't hitting shots, that's where they're in trouble. They need somebody to hit shots. They haven't been getting it from Kleba. They haven't been getting it from anywhere else. And Jalen's been upside down. Doggone Bullock will have 0 for 8 one game, and they just can't have that for them there. But I don't think they have a chance to win the series. They might be able to stretch it, but I don't think they have a chance. I think it might be over, to be honest.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. There's a little bit of room to grow from the previous performance. Luka didn't shoot particularly well from beyond the arc. Spencer Dinwiddie, their second leading scorer, usually only scored 10 points. So, I mean, they could do better, but they had a lot of role players kind of step up and hit their shots, as you were saying. It's hard to expect that game by game, certainly 4 games in a row. So they kind of put themselves in too big of a hole, but maybe they can extend the series again tonight. I think it's best for them that they at least got a punch in. So you feel a lot better about not getting swept and ensuring that the Nets are the only team that's been swept in the playoffs so far. I think makes most people pretty happy there. Speaking of the Heat, you mentioned them the other day. Again, without Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo basically played outside himself to provide a punch off the bench 2 games ago. Wasn't able to do it this time. I think that's just a magnificent organization. This series is not over. If they really get hot, they could bring it back, and maybe get it to go to Game 7. But they're just beat up. I mean, I don't know what it says too much about Miami, other than the fact that they're all beat up. They're hurt. They just don't have enough depth where, Boston's beat up too. But you can tell Jimmy's not himself. He's just missing bunnies left and right. You can now Kyle Lowry's not himself. I still think they should start Gabe Vincent over Kyle Lowry. This version of
He's
Kyle
been
Lowry.
most consistent. Yeah, he's been probably the most consistent. I mean, to be able to do what he did, 15 points in 23 minutes. He didn't shoot well from 3, 1 for 7, but he was solid. But talking about Jimmy Butler, the rest of this series, he's averaged 30 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 54%, but getting to the free throw line 9 times a game. So there's got to be something going on. We don't know what that is. This last game, he shot 4 for 18, 1 for 5 from 3, only got to the free throw line 4 times, but was 4 for 4. 13 points out of Jimmy Butler, who playing 40 minutes a game. That is not going to get it done. But his last 3 games that he's participated in, he's only averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists at 25% field goal, and he's the mid-range king. So that can't happen. And he's only got to the free throw line 2 times. But their downfall and what's putting a tombstone on their grave, and why this series, I said Boston would win. I didn't care what happened. I always said Boston would win this series. But here's their problem. They're starting backcourt, and they've been going with Max Strus, but Strus was 0 for 9 last game, 0 for 7 from 3. They finally figured him out, but the starting backcourt only scored 7 points in the last 2 games. 1 for 28. Listen, on my worst day, as old as I am, I can probably shoot better than 1 for 28. And 3%, 1 for 19 from 3, 5%. Listen, bro, listen. I don't even know what to say at this point, but I know that with those numbers and Victor Oladipo now going 1 for 7, listen, it's over with. It's a wrap. Boston moving on.
To stick up for Miami to a degree, this was not a wrap going into the third quarter. This was a close game. Miami really held Boston's offense down too, but you just kind of felt
that's just because of turnovers. That's because of turnovers, but go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, you kind of felt the whole game like, okay, Boston's offense is going to turn it on eventually. You didn't feel the same for Miami. You're like, they're going to struggle, and they have. I mean, they haven't scored more than 85 in the last 2 games, which is just crazy these days where, teams are scoring like 120 plus, and it's basically a given to get over 100. So, tip of the cap to Boston's defense, but Miami's just really beat up, and their players aren't doing well. And I thought this was funny. Max Strus looks like the 2K player that I always create. He looks like the version I try to get to look like me, but he looks a little bit better because he's got a better armor. He can work into it.
I'm going to let Nate tap in, but I will say this one thing about Boston. If Boston does not clear up this turnover situation with, even though Jason Tatum had 9 assists with 5 turnovers, we know that they had over 20 turnovers in their last game before. If they don't get that thing fixed between him and Jalen, Marcus has been taking care of the ball, but he's kind of just not necessarily fully there. they don't get that handled, they're going to be in trouble against Golden State. But
yeah,
I digress. Go ahead, Nate.
I don't know if I want to call it a gimmick when I look at the Miami Heat, because I don't think that's the case. I mean, they won 53 games. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But when you look at these players that have shown up over the past few weeks, months, however long it may be, Strus, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, I mean, these aren't really household names, and these are the guys that kind of show up in big moments and have led them further on in the series. I mean, we saw in the bubble, too. Duncan Robinson was one of the best players on the court. And at the end of the day, I mean, when you play a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, it seems like talent's just going to beat you. And ultimately, when it comes to Miami, you have Jimmy Butler and a bunch of great role players that have shown up in huge moments. Don't get me wrong. But when you play a team that's just more talented than you, I think you're going to lose at the end of the day and ultimately at the end of a series. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. And I don't want to call it a gimmick. I think that's the wrong word because they've had success. But when you're trying to win an NBA championship, it seems like you need more than just one star and a bunch of good role players.
Especially without Tyler Hero. You know,
Right.
Tyler Hero is their guy, their swag guy. You can see flashes from Victor Oladipo and all of that. But at the end of the day, they're just searching. Spoelstra's searching. He's throwing. He hasn't played Duncan Robinson dang near but 2-3 times in all the series, and he's searching. And I understand why he's playing Max Strus over Duncan Robinson because his defense is a lot better. So he feels he's getting the same type of contribution out of Max Strus but he's getting defense from him too. So I think that's why he's feeling that he's going with him. But he's searching, and it's tough because they're not all there, especially without Tyler Hero. It's a done easy.
Well, I know, too, Tyler Hero's name maybe took a hit from the season prior to this one because in the bubble he was really good, kind of had a sophomore slump. Don't forget that's sixth man of the year. That was part of what they've done all year in becoming the number one seed is to expect him to be able to pack that punch coming off the bench. And then they added Victor Oladipo late. So, I mean, they're a very deep team, but they're just too beat up. I think ultimately more than anything, they're just too beat up. And Jaylen Brown also went nuts. Again, that was a close game going into the fourth quarter, and then Jaylen just took off, including a tongue-out dunk, which was very cool. But in any case, I think that one wraps up in Boston probably tomorrow night. I wanted to ask you, Strick, about your Eastern Conference Finals run. I think we'll save that for tomorrow since that'll be Boston. It'll be game day for Boston. But, I saw a little highlight of them throwing it back to your run last night. So I thought that would be kind of cool and maybe a missed opportunity if we didn't do it.
Also, Strick, I had a quick question for you, too. I'm wondering if when you were playing, it was more kind of the superstars are the ones that usually win the titles, because I feel like that might be a new thing in the NBA is usually the superstars, the super teams are the ones that win the finals these days. Was it kind of a little bit different when you were playing?
There wasn't the super teams the way that it was done. It was the teams with some superstars, right? Because you look at those successful runs that the Spurs had. Tim Duncan, we all knew that he was their guy. But then you had Manu Ginobili and what's
Tony Parker?
Tony Parker. Yeah, Tony Parker, right? So you had those guys that were significant pieces that helped them to get over the hump. And then you add just great role players like Malik Rose and, who's like their PJ Tucker or their Draymond Green. You add these type of guys onto those teams and they become very successful. Dallas Mavericks, the same thing. Dirk was the star, but then you had Jason Terry was big in those situations. Jason Kidd comes back and leads the charge. And, Tyson Chandler becomes Lob City with them and they win a championship. And, so you saw them and it started with the super teams of the Miami Heat. I think that's when it kind of shifted for a short period. But mostly, I mean, you had Shaq and Kobe and you had a couple guys that were staunch leaders, but even with that Detroit team, none of them players, it was very Miami-ish, right? With those teams. Ben Wallace was their, lockdown guy, defensive players of the year, big game, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, solid, he was their Jimmy Butler, basically, right? But there was just a team, a collective, and they played great defense. They got after you, and that's what you saw back then in my time.
Do you think that a team like that can win in today's NBA?
I think you're seeing it with Boston. You're going to see somebody do it this year. It's going to be Boston or, Golden State's not a super team. They've got a superstar in Steph Curry and a great player in Klay Thompson. and they've got that. But Jordan Poole and all of these other pieces, they've got they built that team the right way, and they've done a good job of developing their players and drafting.
And that's what kind of is interesting is, do you like this? Do you like the parity that's involved over the last several years, or do you like the super teams? I kind of like the parity because you can't see it coming. Who's going to win? I don't think that LeBron Lakers bubble team was a super team. I don't think Milwaukee last year was a super team. I don't think that Boston and the Warriors mostly made up of their own draft picks, whoever ends up winning this year. So, one
thing I want to say before we go to break. One thing I want to say, because I know you're about to tap us out, but I didn't want to lose this point. When you talked about parity, there was an era in the 80s where it was team orchestrated, where you had the Lakers, you had, great teams, a lot of great players, but what made them great was the team. By himself, Kevin McHale is not a freaking superstar, but with Larry Bird and Parrish and DJ and all of them, right? The same thing, Magic Johnson, great player, but without Cooper and Byron Scott and those type of solid players, and then Kareem you throw in and Big Game James, you know what I'm saying? So it was very team driven, and then it was still team driven when you look at the Michael Jordan era, right? It was still those teams he had to fight through was great teams that he had to beat, right? Isaiah Thomas and Dumars and Sally and all. Lambeer teams, but then it shifted to players, and so then it became player against player competition at some point. Then you had Kevin Durant's, and you had LeBron's, and you had D Wade's, and then you had Camelo's, and it became players and not teams. Then those players tried to unite and create super teams, which you had a little run out of Miami, but then it started to shift away from that. I think now it's shifting back again to teams, and I think those rivalries and parity will make the NBA good again.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. I know there's been a lot of blowouts. It hasn't been a whole lot of game sevens, at least that lived up to the hype, but I've had fun through this NBA playoffs. We'll take a quick break. We'll wrap things up from Double Eagle Golf here. This is On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is the equal opportunity employer.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so badly, he ended up in the emergency room and spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy about telling people not to smoke around your kids.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gums. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy Memorial Day weekend. We are thankful for our country, and for those that have served this nation, we salute you. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex here on West O Street. Wrapping things up here. We had Ticket Water Cooler here. We have On the Block here. You guys are vibing to the music here a little bit as we go. But again, if you haven't been to Double Eagle Golf yet, you're going to want to get here. 5 different golf simulator bays. Just an absolute blast to watch. Plenty of golfers come down here and have some fun. Sorensen's still working on his golf game as we wrap things up. Definitely get out to Double Eagle Golf. It is awesome. Bar out here too. Get some drinks. I mean, it's everything you want in your golf. Just indoors. I did want to update you guys on some of the Big Ten baseball scores going down in Omaha. Finals from earlier in the day. Penn State beat Iowa 5-2. Iowa's probably going to need to win this tournament to get to the NCAA. So interesting score there. Rutgers probably is safe either way, but they will still want that Big Ten crowd. They beat Purdue 10-3. And the game going on right now is Indiana and Maryland in the top of the first there. Maryland is probably the favorites in this one. They're top 10. They're number 10 in the nation right now. So going to be interesting to see if they can make a run at Omaha, or at the College World Series, I should say, as they are in Omaha right now for the Big Ten tournament. Michigan and Illinois will be the other game this evening. So always interesting to look into that. I wanted to get to some quick stories before we wrap up. I think we're almost done, so maybe just a story real quick. Strick, I want to get your response to this. Jalen Rose said he voted for Kyrie Irving on his third team All-NBA. He was the one that voted for Kyrie. He quickly said that was a mistake on live TV. It was kind of funny because it's just kind of odd. I mean, he only played away games, had same type of Kyrie Irving numbers, but I was surprised to see that to begin with, and now we know it's Jalen Rose who was at fault, and on live TV he said, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
I would have to agree. That was a bad choice.
I just thought that was kind of funny. Not sticking to, usually you're supposed to stick to your gun. And especially if it's something that important is they're gonna give Jalen a vote next year if he really just goes, well, I'm not really sure, I just made it.
The Nets aren't going to sign Kyrie long term either. You guys see that?
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't know what the Nets are going to do. I don't know who's going to pick him up, but bit of a head case, and certainly it's still a great player, but can't build around him. That's for sure. So it's just kind of interesting what's going on there. Strick, how about this? James Worthy says on the state of the NBA, all they do is practice threes, get tattoos, and tweet. It sounds like a pretty good life, though, doesn't it?
Well, when you're making, 80, 90, $100 million, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. And he also threw in work out there, but certainly saying that there's been a lot of changes of the NBA over the years. So,
well, it's going to really change if they get this this next deal where they're saying the salary cap could super balloon.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Which
it
would be
already
crazy.
took quite a boost a few years ago, but that'll be fun to watch as we go forward. Also, RIP to Ray Liotta today, who passed away. Of course, the famous actor. That was kind of sad news to see. Steve Smith also doing something weird. He said he tweeted out a video that said he's part of the Giants coaching staff. He said nobody else has to break it. He's breaking it right there. And then he said, no, and then he didn't say, just later, it's just like, no, that's not true. Steve Smith is just pulling one over you. So always difficult to see what's going on there. But that'll wrap it up for On the Block today. We are live from Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Make your way out here anytime you can. Just a lot of fun. 5 different golf simulators, full bar with drink specials. A lot of fun. We'll be happy if they have us back because this was awesome. That'll wrap it up for On the Block. We'll see you tomorrow. I think we have ticket weeknights coming up next. But for On the Block, we'll be back tomorrow on a Friday to wrap up the week. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a block party. We'll see you guys.